and we are here on a special episode of After the Year. It's a debate show, but we're gonna go. Fuck. Let's do that again. Hot as fuck.
Why do you got these damn lights on?
Cause it makes it look better that way, nigga.
Niggas is on quarantine. We haven't shaved. Niggas is wearing a do-rag and they ain't got no hair. It's just like, come on.
Whatever. One of the most important men on a basketball team is the sixth man. That man comes in, gives instant offense and sometimes instant defense, changes the whole concept of the game. A very good sixth man a lot of times makes the opposing coach have to change his whole game plan because that sixth man is on the floor. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be debating about who is the best sixth man out of three of some of the best sixth men that NBA has ever seen. That is Manu Ginobili, Lou Williams, and Jamal Crawford. Gentlemen, are you ready to debate?
Yeah. Let the dude go first. Let the loser go first.
All right. Matt has said that Dre can go first. So Dre, whenever you're ready, your timer will start.
All right, I'm ready now. So,
right.
My best six man ever is the one and only Manu Ginobili. Here's why. Manu Ginobili, for at least 3 out of his, I don't know how many seasons he's played, at least three of his seasons, that's the only time he played more than 40 games. I think for six man of the year, you gotta play less than 50. Right? Granted, my man is real injury prone. I get it. And injuries is the thing that put him to the bench. But you can't knock his impact when he was on the floor. Bro, that's what he was part of the big three only because, he was the third best player on the team. Regardless of what team he was drafted to, Matt, he doesn't control where he gets drafted to, Matt. So, I just feel like his impact is more than the regular season. That's more than you can say for any of the other two people on the list. I mean, look at it. Bro has 4 rings, and he's been a real important part of all 4 of those rings. That's 4 out of the 5 Spurs rings. Like, you gotta, come on. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
30 seconds. Oh, so you're done?
Yeah, no, I'm done. Go ahead, Matt.
First of all,
Matt, before I go, hold on, and you'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go, Matt. It's your go.
How dare you say Manu Ginobili is the best six man of all fucking time? Let's get this straight. A six man is a player that plays off the bench, that does not start. That is not a franchise player. Manu Ginobili is a franchise player. He literally has his own section on the San Antonio Spurs Wikipedia page. It's titled The Big Three. Jamal Crawford ain't a part of no Big Three. He ain't a part of a duo. He ain't even a star player of his goddamn teams that he's been on. Let's name them. The Atlanta Hawks, where he first won his goddamn Six Man of the Year award. Let's talk about the Trailblazers, the Warriors, the Clippers. He came off the bench. Manu only has 1 Six Man of the Year award. What was that, in 08? In 08? What was that? That was like the only time in his whole goddamn, his whole career that he actually played a good season. And guess what? He came off of injury. So that's the only reason why he came off the bench. Let's be real. Jamal Crawford averages 18 off the bench. Off the bench, not starting. He's second in all-time bench players points. I think the first one is Del Curry. I may be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know somebody will because a lot of y'all like to try to correct me. Fuck him. I don't care. He's number 2 on all-time points from the bench. Let's be clear. Manu Ginobili is not the all-time bench player of the year. He's not a six-man of all time. Let's just wipe that out. Lou Williams and Jamal Crawford are the only two players in NBA and ABA history to ever have 3 Six-Man of the Year awards. Get clear.
And that will be it. You guys raised some great points.
You need to stick to
you guys
R&B.
raised.
Manu Ginobili. He got drafted in 1902-03.
I mean, listen, at least Manu didn't want to count it.
Shit.
Regular.
You guys raised some great points.
Time he ever played 82 games in the season? Can we pull up? Has he ever? Huh?
Yes.
When?
80.
When?
He played 80 games in the season.
Wow. 80.
Jamal Crawford has never played 82 either.
Look, let's not let
we're gonna forget Jamal Crawford had his litany of injuries too, right? Nah, but it's just Manu. All right.
Your boy Harley gets over 70. Let's get that straight. We're not gonna do that. That's what we're not gonna do. He's not coming off the bench because he's injured. He's coming off the bench because he is a great bench player. Granted, he started. He started for the Knicks. He started for Chicago here and there, and he started for the Clippers. But what's his name got injured? But let's be facts. He is a 6 man. He is literally, when you look up 6 man and what his responsibilities is, it's gonna be Jamal Crawford literally putting the nigga on the floor. That's what Jamal Crawford does.
Jamal Crawford does is score. That's all he do.
He does. He gets buckets off the bench.
Right. So does Manu.
Probably is fortunate.
Guys. About 2 weeks ago was WrestleMania. It was a 2-day event that everybody has been talking about since then. Two of the biggest matches during that WrestleMania was the Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. The other match was a Firefly Funhouse. That was John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, or AKA The Fiend. So many people have been debating about which they consider to be the better match or the better production. Fellas, you ready to debate?
Yeah.
Matt, you will go first. You have 2 minutes on the clock.
I'm on the lap. Going down?
Yes.
You ain't gonna cut me down? Look, let's be 100. The Undertaker did his thing. I give him that. But the highlight of that WrestleMania weekend was the Firefly Funhouse. Man, The Fiend versus John Cena. There's so many backstories and little elements that made that match fucking historic. The production, amazing. The context clues of John Cena's career, him starting out with that ruthless aggression shit, and how bad that failed, and how he was almost out the door, and then he had that basic thugonomics shit, that Vanilla Ice shit that he was doing. Good shit. Then it was him blowing up, and him needing to change his character, so they're sitting there saying that he should have been a heel.
1 minute.
So they brought up the NWO thing and how much that affected Hollywood Hogan's career. And they figured that it should have been the same thing for John. It was just such a good ass story. It was a great story arc. And it built up The Fiend, and then it showed John Cena how great he was as an actor and as a superstar. He made The Fiend. He elevated The Fiend more than what he was already at. And it was a great match. It was just fucking awesome. I could replay that match over and over and over again. It was just a great match.
Good points. Very good points. They were about, the Firefly Funhouse was all about John Cena's failures and what could have been if certain things were to happen in his career. So, Dre, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're on the clock.
Boneyard match was the highlight of WrestleMania. And here's why. Because it was an actual match. They actually fought.
It was a fight.
John Cena and Bray Wyatt fought for 2 seconds. Mandible Claw, Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3.
There's a couple chairs.
No. Now let's look back. Let's start from the beginning. The mystique of the Undertaker. We've been talking about the Undertaker for the past couple of years. Talking about, oh nah, this is it. He should not be wrestling no more. And then you include AJ Styles, the best performer of the decade according to PWI, and it's disputable, but I don't think it is.
It's not
right?
disputable. It's not disputable.
Okay, you put those two. You put the mind and the experience of the Undertaker with the mind and experience of AJ Styles, and you get magic, just like you got at the Boneyard match. You had enough action, drama,
and pyro.
All of that. Pyro, yes, pyro.
1 minute.
You gotta have your pyro to to make it a series. Now, you can't do those matches all the time, just like you can't do a 5-5 Funhouse all the time. But I believe Undertaker not only made himself look good, but he also made AJ Styles. He built AJ Styles' character up a little bit more as more of a credible opponent to everybody. Because he's one of the last few people to stand up to the Undertaker. Undertaker looked his best there that he looked in the past 5 years. And you know it. Bray Wyatt was just, Bray Wyatt was telling the story about John Cena.
8, 7,
like, come on.
6,
We're not going to see John Cena no more, are we?
4,
Look,
3,
no. Don't do
2,
that. Don't do
and
that.
1.
First of all, let's be clear. Let's be 100% clear.
Okay.
The Bray Wyatt was elevated. If anybody was more elevated than Bray Wyatt in WrestleMania weekend, it would have to be Drew McIntyre, I'm guessing, because he won the title. But let's be clear. Bray Wyatt has been touch and go. The only thing he has working for him right now is this Fiend character and the mystique of the Fiend character and building up that character. Undertaker's always had that mystique, whether it was the Buried Alive matches, the Inferno matches, him getting locked in the casket, set on fire, and fucking like hovering to the top of the fucking Titantron.
Matt, you can stop now. You can stop now. You're going overtime. You're going overtime.
Bray Wyatt got elevated.
Both matches were legendary, and both matches did help elevate everyone's mystique in general. So as we move on.
Also, both matches were better than the Gargano and Ciampa match.
I'm not gonna.
We'll talk about that later. As we move forward for the last topic on Yerrr after the Yerrr, we will be talking about COVID-19 has ran rapid across the world. Many bad things have happened because of COVID-19. One of the things that have been affected by COVID-19 has been sports. And sports has literally been put at a stop. So the NBA has been talking about potentially bringing back games, but maybe in front of no fans. It's been tossed around a couple of times, but things that are still up in the air about what exactly is going to happen. So now, gentlemen, do you think that the NBA should return or just call the season as it is?
I'll let Matt start this one again. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, you can go. You're on the clock.
It would be unfair to like cut the season the way that it is. You got certain players that are kind of like on their last couple legs, like your Vince Carter's, who's I think this was his last season. It's kind of fucked up that it's ending this way, but safety is everything, and money is everything in this world. So I don't feel like they should bring it back. I'm speaking out of just being a human being of the sort. We haven't really had a stranglehold on this virus, so it'll be unsafe to put these players in that predicament. Of course, the fan in me, the diehard basketball fan in me, put them on the goddamn court, let them play. But you want longevity. You don't know what this fucking virus is capable of. So I don't agree with them, playing until this shit is, under wraps and under control. We just look Carl Anthony Towns' mom, bless her soul, just passed away. We just got the notifications about that literally like an hour ago. So it's like this shit. It's not like under control yet. So it's just unfair to put anybody in that situation. I don't agree with it.
All right, Dre, it's your go.
I disagree. I think they can play in empty arenas, and here's why. First of all, in order for you to play in empty arenas, they're going to need to go to some place where it's not as crazy with the COVID-19. And that can be done. There are places in the United States that you can go, like, I don't know. There's plenty of places you can go in the United States, and they can play an empty arena game with just the players that are cleared to play. Let me get that 100% straight. If the players are cleared of the virus, I see no reason why they should not continue the season in the empty arena. Now, the length of the season, that could be debatable. But I think, and I honestly think you should only play like 10 games and then go into the playoffs. Regardless of anything that's going on, there's only 20 games left. 10 games isn't going to decide too much more than 20 games. Right? Again, the league is still making money. The players will still be getting paid. People will be clamoring to watch it on TV. I see no reason, if it's safe to play in empty arenas, I see no reason why they shouldn't play.
You say that now until another NBA player catches the virus. Then what?
Right, but like I said, you need to go someplace where there is no virus or it's at the minimal.
Yeah, but minimal doesn't mean that it's under control. It just means that that's not that many cases reported. Yeah, I think about that.
Right. But in Middle America, it's not going to be too many cases as if there is in the East and the West Coast. Right now, New York has the most cases of more than most countries. But if you go to Middle America, some of these places have zero. Still.
Yeah. So that will be it for that subject. Good job, guys. Good debate, and that was the year after the year.
Jay speaking bullshit. That's what it is.
Make sure y'all listen to our latest episode of the Yerrr Sports Show. It's on all your favorite listening podcast stuff. You know, shout out to the Jobbertans Network, everything on the Jobbertans Network. Shout out to everybody on the Yerrr Sports Show. Larry, Queen Tay, BK Matt.
She's speaking bullshit too.
Myself, Big Baby. Yeah, don't talk about Paul Pierce. I don't want to
put some respect on Paul Pierce's name. Y'all gonna put some goddamn respect on her name. That's some bullshit that y'all did right there. How y'all gonna let that happen, Paul Pierce? Like, Dominique Wilkins is nice. She ain't gonna do Paul Pierce like that.
Well, you know what? The next debate could be between you and Tavia about Paul Pierce and Dominique Wilkins.
I'm good. 2-1. I don't want to do that. I'm good. I don't want to do it at
all. All right, guys. It was a pleasure.
All right.
Yes, always.